Hello, I'm filmmaker Archie Hyde,
Hello, and I'm ball painter Tim Baker.
where tradition turns into stories and stories turn into laughter. Stay tuned because
This is the Shrove Tide Podcast Season 2.
They all play hard, they all play well, but there's always stories to be told. That is why I have the great honor to say, Archie Wright and Tim Baker, are you ready for the stories? Who will the guest be today? When the ball is robbed in red, white and blue, and the Englishman tries his best, the players get stories, which is why we are here. Archie Wright and Tim Baker. Who is the guest today?
So can you both tell us a story about Shrove Tide of when you were sort of younger?
Well, I was born on Station Street, so you didn't have much choice but having to go to Shrove Tide because it was just round the corner. And just went from a very early age, and you just grow into it as you get older. You play with us at Parkside like most of our age group did, and just went from there.
Did you play a game, Mark, at Park? What did you use?
Parkside,
a tennis ball
yeah.
or something, right?
Yeah.
Any stories you can remember from that?
I'm sure they had a football. And I think you used to tap it on the
One corner of
corner of
behind
that
the goal,
stone building, weren't
with
it?
the
Yeah.
goal painted on it.
So
Yeah.
did you do that too, Rob?
I must have done. I can't
Yeah,
remember.
but do you
that,
remember
yeah,
anybody that you played Shrove Tide with at Parkside that, like yourself, has gone on to play in the real game and goal?
Oh yeah, well, there was Nobby obviously. There's quite a few in our year went to play Shrove Tide.
And then went on to
Breeze,
goal.
Breeze lads.
But we had a good school here. There was Dave Hollingworth, 83, me in 90, Callers in 91, and Ernie Fern in 93. So we had a real good.
Who all went to
They
school?
all went
Right.
to score balls. Plus there's a few more players, John Stafford, Nick Adams. So we had quite a good school
Yeah,
here.
quite a few from your year.
From our year, like in that particular era, if you like, early 90s.
Yeah. So what about you, Rob? What was your earliest memories of Shrove Tide as a kid?
Yeah, just going down with my mum and hanging about and being a nuisance, and then your mum you sneak off and leave your mum to it, and and we just started giving a bit of a push now and again as kids, and
Did those older generational players let you push, or were they a bit like, Gareth,
Well,
click you out here, Rob?
we did get a clipped ear all once. I'll just tell that little story. It was down on the bus station embankment and the steep corner where it comes out back to the road, and me and Ernie were pushing. We had great delight as the downers were trying to bring it out, and me and Ernie had just let it get to the top and just give it a shove down. We did it about 4 times, and then we got a tap on the shoulder. What have you two got in your heads? Sawdust.
Who was that?
Chess and Steve Challoner.
Oh right, yeah.
I knew them really well, you see. We're living on where they lived on Manor Road as well. And, we just sculpted off into distance. There was a clip round there
Yes, you
on
did.
chess. Yeah, great. Well, yeah, that first sort of recollections, and then actual first touch was on Paul Armstrong's ball in '79.
Right.
Where they'd run it across the patch on the footpath, and it went down Brookside and over style, and Harvey and Nibbler was running with it, and I was behind, and somebody must have legged Harvey up. It went on the floor, and he said, well, if I'm not having it, nobody's having it. And I got a couple of kicks in there. I don't know which way it went, but I did just have a couple of boots, and it got kicked into the deep stretch above the waterfall. And I can remember one bloke jumped in and followed it through, but Paul must have used his brain and gone down to the waterfall, gone over, and as soon as this chap got out of the water, dispossessed him, and ran it to goal. I think there was snow on the ground.
It was, yeah.
Actually, yes, because there's nobody there. I think he waited for somebody to come and verify that he's actually scored the ball. And we just stood on Paper House Lane waiting, and I went back to 101 Green Road, Ernie's place, like, and just. I remember Derby played Ipswich in front of the lowest crowd the baseball ground's ever seen, 7,000.
Really?
Baseball ground.
Just for them that know,
Yeah.
just hold your ball up and just show them what's on there. There you
Yeah, big Derby fan, always have been.
go. One at the end there as well. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
Brilliant. So what about you, Mark? What stands out of your sort of early games as a youngster?
I say I saw that Paul Armstrong. I think he did it twice. I think he'd done it and then nobody appeared and he went down again. And that was the first ball I saw scored. As far as sort of getting involved, when you're young, you always want to kick it, but I don't think you dare pick it up when you're young.
Right.
You just want to get a foot on it and then you're happy. And then you always used to get a chance to. You always used to be more loose on Shawcroft. You used to be kicked around, up and down, backwards and forwards. Not like now as such. So that was your good chance of getting it.
I think most people are afraid to put it down now, aren't they?
Yeah, possibly. Well, that was the first time I really kicked it. Sort of.
I
Then
just
you get a bit braver. And
Yeah, of course you
pick
do.
it up.
Yeah.
As Archie's had his first delve into it this year, mate, haven't you?
Yes. Yes.
I didn't actually kick on from there. I'd sort of lost the plot a bit with it. I used to go down and see it thrown up, and I followed Dave Hollingworth and Steve Mitchell across car park in '83, but couldn't keep up. You just did a bit. I was up at Sturston when Botty gold. I remember going round
That was
and
the
round.
first goal I saw
totem
scored at
pole.
Sturston.
Callers
Yeah.
got stopped by Anthony Needhams,
Yeah, I can remember.
didn't he? And then
He did, yeah.
somebody hit him. I don't know who it was.
And you just do a bit to keep up, and then sort of 85, 86 come, we were just following Paddy, really. He had it, and then once you got it in his top, that was end of it. Really, you never saw it again till it come out down there, sort of thing. But we got on.
Harry's ball come down Strawberry Fields, didn't it?
Yeah, did really well. You couldn't touch him. You going over the edges, he was unbelievable. You were looking for gaps. Paddy was just like high jumping them.
Really?
Scissoring over them, if you like. Yeah. But,
So Mark, I've got a question for you. So people call you Horse. So can I ask how you sort of got that sort of nickname?
Oh my God.
Probably a little goon called Ernie, I think.
was it?
Was it?
At football, wasn't it, Rob?
Yeah.
Mappleton. I think that's where that's come from.
Not that bloke off that film.
I don't know really. I think Ernie's Ernie, and he just started it, and
And that's where it came from.
it just caught on. And
You sort of like thinking, don't you, Archie, with nicknames, one or two different Trove Tiders where they've come from. Yeah. So, obviously, we're moving on a bit now. We've gone on to sort of the 80s and the 90s. And before you started your gold yours, Rob, and obviously you got yours later. Let's look at the 80s. It was quite a dry spell, wasn't it, for the Upwards at that particular point in time. I think Paul Armstrong had sort of been a glimmering light in 79, and then it was Steve Bott 84, and then it really was John Dodd in 87.
Yeah.
What do you think was sort of going wrong a bit then for everybody on the Upwards side? Because it really didn't seem like to be an Upwards game in those days, did it?
I think everybody sort of played as an individual, and I'm not disrespecting anybody that was playing up in the 80s, but they seemed to play not as a team. And then I'll tell you, me and Michael got on Doddy's ball's run on that one, and I said, next year I'm going to give you a phone call and we're going to do a bit of training. So I rings him up. I was on Greenway, and I met him on bench at top of Paper House Lane there. And we did that. So 88, and I says I'll meet you at Orns. All right. Walked down to Orns, couldn't get in, couldn't get a pint at Orns. I've just walked past Volts. Let's go to Volts. Right, so we walked back to the bolts. This was about 1 o'clock. Within half an hour, we've got 30 men.
Wow.
What are you doing here? So we're having a pint. No, we thought you were plotting something. No, all right. So we were just having a pint here. Nobody else here, so it's the only place we could get one. So that's where 1 o'clock at the Vaults actually came from. We started there,
Yeah. And
just
it
on
grew.
the chance because we couldn't get in the arms, and it grew from there. And then, say 89, we were sort of half fit. Michael got his ball. Next year I got mine. Callers got his in 91. And then the problem occurred. We were still playing as individuals.
Right.
There were only us sort of three that could run a bit. So I'm not disrespecting anybody else and by not naming them, but they've got nobody coming through really, only young Lenny Lyon, you know, and he could run a bit if he put his mind to it, but nobody did any training. So as Gordon run that one up in that Martin Holland got,
Yeah.
I don't think he got a plan to do anything with it.
Right.
And that's why Paddy took him out. And then it went to Clifton because Gordon didn't know anybody.
No.
He wasn't running it up for anybody, I'm sure he wasn't.
He just took it the direction he wanted it to
Yeah,
go.
yeah, and I was just ambling behind him, and when Paddy fetched him down, I just jumped on him.
This was above the goal.
Yes, it was a field above
Yeah.
the goal, yeah, because you could see everybody coming away from the mill. And I said, let's hang on to it as long as possible, somebody will come. And they didn't. The only people that come was Rue, Steve Hudson, Jeff, Chaz, and Martin. So they just peeled us off, and away they went, and nobody come. So my thoughts were for the next year, 92, right, we're going to get the big lads as backup, as secondary runners. If we can run off with it and we get fetched down, we'll have a bit more backup. And it actually worked. Actually, we were actually awesome that year on Mark Ellaby's ball.
And you were a hook player, weren't you, Mark?
Yeah,
And,
yeah.
And played in the river.
Yeah, I went in the river when he had to.
So what was it like then, as a hook player, when you did
Well,
you
the
feel
hub
a
was
bit
bigger then.
overpowered?
A lot more went in.
Right.
No, in like mid 90s, there was a lot in the river then. That's when river started getting filled up. You know, rather than 20, there were
Yes.
120.
Well,
weren't there?
that's when we kicked in as a team.
And then it sort of got going, and one year we pushed it up the culvert, which had probably never been done, had
Right.
it? And then from there, it gained a lot of confidence that we could be better than them in the river.
Right.
All of a sudden, weren't it? And things just seemed to change a bit, didn't they? We sort of, we were just a machine, a team.
Were you shocked how things did change though? Because they didn't change a little bit really, they changed a lot, didn't they?
Yeah, you got the maternity home factor kicked in, I think.
Yeah.
Really, it was easy to get lads to come and play with us. Oh, I was born in maternity home, and once your dad sort of gone, Steve Wright's ball, you got folks like Andrew Eacott that had stopped playing years ago because it just went down. So we're not pushed down. And we got good 10 years out of Andy, a brilliant player. You know, and there was one or two more like that.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, Sean Breeze and Chuzzy and all them, they all come together, didn't they? They hadn't played for a year or two, but as soon as we started getting the team together,
People
and we
started
could do
coming out the
something,
woodwork
they
a bit
came
more.
back again to us,
Yeah, brilliant.
And there was a lot of trust involved.
Yeah. Yeah.
It got
We
killed.
shared them out, didn't we?
Yeah.
Runner, hook player, and it went a bit like that.
Yeah.
Right.
So everybody thought they were in with a chance. And that's how we sort of played it, didn't it?
Yeah,
for a year or two.
we'd just keep passing it.
Especially when you got to the edges. Yeah.
And then if we saw an opportunity, it was just perhaps a bit of a chip chat, or we knew what we had to do, and it happened most of the time.
Yeah.
Even if it got stopped 20 yards up the field or over a wall, it moved. We got killed a couple of times in the river, but we managed to shift it.
Yeah.
Well-
It doesn't seem to go in the river though now, does it?
Down as last stand, it was remarkable. That was how we got that out. No,
Yeah.
What
I would
tell
say
us
much about that.
Yeah, go on, you're all right.
Hey, you're all right.
No.
It got mental this time at South Town with Harry. And Harry says, I never really hit you at South Town. I said, no, you didn't, Harry. He says, you know you never went to never have a go. And I says, well, yes, Harry, I know I would have a go. So he said, they're running an horse and jockey around George one day with Harry Ware at ball. And he says, that changed hands because I thought you were going to have a go that day. Well, I didn't. And then on that Downers last stand, we just made it, we couldn't go in and everybody went in, but I stayed on the bank. And I kept fiddling with my hands, getting it on the ball. I got onto the ball. And Harry says, I'll hit you in a minute. I says, go on then, Harry. Well, I was jokingly, because under Harry was Hilly.
Right.
And Hilly was worming his way in. Of course, when Harry lifted his arms up for hit me, Hilly were in. And before you knew it, ball were out.
Right.
Just as quick as that, weren't it? Because it were, they got it well and truly fast, it really. Well, it was just funny.
97, was it 97?
I remember the banner that was put down at the bottom, down
Yeah.
the last stand.
I don't know who did that.
We had nothing to do with that.
No.
Archie.
Honestly.
So from a young child, spectating the game, did you ever say, to yourself, I'm going to be playing this one day?
It just comes to you. You're born in Ashburn, and say I was born on Station Street, so you couldn't miss it. Parkside School, you couldn't avoid it. Not as if you want to avoid it, but it just comes to it, and you get. Say you start kicking it, then you're brave enough to pick it up. Never say I never ran off with. Well, I did walk off with it a few times, but I didn't run off with it because I couldn't run. But you picked it up, and you're happy when you picked it up, and then you got a bit braver, and you got older and a bit wiser, hopefully, and you go into the game.
So on the back of Archie's question then, did you ever think you'd ever goal one?
Back in your mind, you always hope you're going to goal one, and then you start thinking what you're going to have to put on it if you did goal one, and I was knocking on a bit when I scored, but you still got hope that you're going to get one, and you possibly get one when you don't expect get one. There's a lot like that probably.
Yeah.
You think you've missed your time or something, but you do get one. That's Shrewsbury, isn't it?
It is, mate, yeah.
Yeah.
Arch.
Yeah.
Do you want to answer the question at all? Because
Did you ever hope you goal one?
I thought I could be good enough, hoped I could be good enough, but I was always sort of thought of myself as a footballer that could run a bit. That's open to debate, but you've got to believe in your own ability.
Absolutely, mate, yeah.
And I say they weren't really the upward runners about to get in your way, so that's what me and Righty and Dave set out to do. And we sort of achieved it, really. And then I say it was a case of getting a few more lads to come and join in so we could run it up for them. And that's how it worked.
Absolutely. Peter Miller was crashing in on this.
Plonks at the window.
Plonks at the window, crashing in on it, yeah.
Right.
So had anybody in your family's gold Shrovetide balls before you did?
Yeah, me Uncle Arthur Beresford
Oh,
is
yeah.
on my dad's side.
They're in the museum at the minute.
Yeah, but apart from that, no.
And we know, you and I, don't we, that we've got somebody in our family who's related to both of us at goal. So who was that?
My granddad scored in 36.
Yes.
I didn't know until the other day, until Nigel said that his was 20-5 on the Wednesday, and I was 10-5 on the Wednesday.
Amazing. Yeah. Because that's on the Burton clan, isn't it, as well?
Yeah.
So we're all, plenty of them,
Yep.
I have to say, and Fred Allen was certainly one of them. So yeah, and it's also, I noticed you lent us the balls this year, Mark, for the museum. Isn't it shocking the difference in size?
Oh yeah.
Your granddad's is a really smallish
Yeah.
ball, isn't
Yeah.
it, compared to the
Yeah.
super beast that you... Because that one there, the 93 one, 2003 one that you're nursing, that you gold, was the first year they introduced larger size balls.
Yeah.
For the Prince of Wales that came that year.
In 1936 it was 4-0 as well,
4-0.
so a bit better than this year.
Yeah, it's just.
Yeah. We'll swiftly move over that
But
one.
the lads did very well this year to run 3
And we'll
balls up.
smooth Miffley over that one.
Fantastic.
Archie?
So, Mark, you just said that if you didn't know what to have painted on the ball if you ever got one. So with saying that, did you both definitely know you were going to get your balls painted if you were gold on, or?
Well, I think before you've got one, you hope you're going to get one, and then you start thinking, what if you do get one, what you're going to put on it. You know, you're always going in pubs looking at people's different balls and different designs, and you know, you're going down to the laurels. You know, fine tuning it, weren't it? Some people had laurels, some didn't, and you know, and you just.
I put them on this year's ball again.
Yeah.
I hadn't for a long while, but I drifted them back in. So, obviously, you both gold your balls. Obviously, Mark, you gold a very important ball in the history of Shrove Tide. Can you just both fill us in on how you got your balls each day? So, Rob, you want to go first because you gold yours in 1990. A memory I have of that one, just we'll kick it off there, was it absolutely flying towards the car parking meter, and that was the last anybody saw it. So, do you want to fill us in what happened?
Yeah, just a bit later than this year's second ball scored. Actually,
Snow again.
yeah, I always tell people the worst weather I've ever come across.
We had everything that day, didn't we?
We had everything. The day before was cold. There's a picture of us hiding under the culvert wall. You're on that, aren't you? There's about 9 of us, and Wilson just came past and actually took the picture of us. And what are you folks so? What were you doing? He said, well, it was that cold.
Out at chilly wind.
It cut you in half. And then when the break did come, Nobby got it. But Nobby was fit as ever because we played in the Brailsford team, you see, and Johnny Webb's training was fantastic. We were that fit. So to have 2 out of the same football team in the same year was great. And on the Wednesday, well, it never stopped raining.
No.
Started about tea time on the Tuesday, and it never stopped raining.
And there was a hell of a wind the day before, wasn't on the Tuesday? I remember that gale force wind.
So we'd run down to Sandybrook, and I'd fallen out with a neighbour down there, and we're all good friends. There's no, you know, it's what happened. It was in no man's land. He wanted it to go one way, I wanted it to go other.
Yeah, that's the
I
way
come
Shrove
out-
Tide is.
Came off a bit worse, I think. But,
Did you?
But you know, we were back again. We got that one. Jim scored that one. Was it Jim? Yeah, it was Jim. Yeah, down there. And I come back again, and I nipped home for a cup of tea and whatnot. And Mum says, "You're not going again, are you?" I says, "Ah, all right." And I'd been back 5 minutes, and the ball got turned up. Harold turned the ball up. Yeah, he was caretaker here. That's hence the cues and the dominoes. He used to look after this place.
So people can see.
Yeah. And I think at the time he was the oldest second ball.
He was up until Sean
Exactly.
Griffin and
So,
the gentleman from the army, Bill Millward.
Bill. Yeah.
So Harold was up until that point
Yes.
the oldest. Yeah.
So he used to play dominoes with my dad in here, and Ron Calladine and George. They all sat in the corner, so it was ironic that I got it, you know, and he couldn't believe it. But it went up, and it virtually went round the back of the plinth, up Prince Charles' yard, I think that's what they call it. Where
Prince's Gate.
The original, where he threw it up. It was turned right, back down Madge Hill, straight into the river, over the other side, and Timmy Sears picked it up. And Tim were in the same football team as me and Nobby, absolutely fit as a fiddle, straight to top style. And
That's on the upside.
that broke everybody up, and then you just left with the runners that were half a dozen of us sorted it out, and me and Callas sort of run most of the way after Mick had stopped Uddy, and Lenny took somebody out up there, Uddy or Chaz, and after that it was just straight in.
What time did you goal it, Rob?
Just after 6, I think, 10
So it
past
was
6.
pretty Shrove Tide was pretty over pretty quick
Yeah,
then,
I
really.
don't think the records bore anything out that nobody sort of said it. It just said 10 past 6 or something like that. Yeah, not like they were pretty accurate on this year's that it was 24 minutes, weren't they?
Yes.
But I say,
Well, fortunately, Archie had filmed the turning up, so he got the time, hadn't he, Arch, on as a turn
Yeah.
up. They timed it as it went in, so it was 24 minutes.
yeah. So this will be about half an hour, I think, 30. I'd say 30, something like that.
And I do believe that year you were playing with a broken nose, am I right in saying?
Well, that's what I mean, yeah.
Yes, you were sporting a broken nose.
Yeah, so
Blocking the style.
That was what it was.
Tell us about your goal then, Mark.
I think went to car park and it ended up on Belper Road. Somehow it got pushed up 2 big hills on the main road, obviously. He went up the first one, and the Downs were trying to get it up the bank, weren't they? After the first hill, back for Derby Road.
Yeah.
And then it went over the second hill where I ended up living eventually. In the 80s I was living there, top of the second hill, and then it went to top of Sturston Lane. It got thrown down the lane, a massive throw, and I just couldn't get back in front of it again. And just followed it across the lane, and we got to the corner, and I could see on the brow of the hill down Sturston Lane, the Downs were still in play down Sturston Lane because Rue nearly had it. He landed on top of the hedge, and he didn't just quite grab it before we managed to get it off the edge again. I remember that. And then it just went like hell on the last bit. I think was it John Dawson ran it. Somebody did it. The light frigging held that across the front of Bill Allen's old farm. And I was with Doddy.
Phil Dawson.
Phil, yeah.
Phil.
I was with Doddy, and Doddy says, I can't get up the lane, it's packed, we'll have to go cut across. Well, it was a swamp. Absolute swamp. Anyway, we kept going and going, and we were trying to run, and we ended up in Peggy's garden, and I got stuck on an electric fence. And Dottie were getting a bit frustrated at times. Come on, come on. And I kept going, he kept me going. And we got into, just about got into the river, and it hadn't been gold, and I jumped in and got on edge of Hog, and I think just, they did the draw, and I was lucky enough to win the draw. And that's history.
History was made that day.
Yeah, yeah.
And both Royal balls went to Sturston, didn't they? Both Prince Wales went both of them up. So, in your playing careers, who, up or down, it doesn't matter, you know, who do you remember did something quite outstanding that sticks in your mind?
Depends what you call outstanding or consistent.
Either, whatever you think.
I mean, I like Jeff. I've had ball up the jumper a time or two, and he's twigged it, stopped it. I put it in a wheelie bin down Smith's Tavern Yard one night, and most folks ran across the car park, but Jeff didn't, because he saw me hanging around. And Bill was with me, Bill Ratcliffe, and we eventually, Bill said, I'll get it, he said he'd get it out. That rate. They were all around us then. We knew the ball hadn't gone.
So Jeff had the ability, didn't he, like what few have, to read.
It was
the game.
clever.
Yeah.
It was a clever idiot.
Yeah. Okay.
You know, he made out he was an idiot, but he was far from an idiot.
Yeah.
I mean, I've had his trousers down in the hug before, and he's got shorts on.
Yeah.
But just for trying to hold on to him when he's trying to do something, you end up on the floor and he's taking it off you, or he's got off you, and you try and pull him in still. And
Yeah. What about you, Rob? Anybody stand out in your mind? Does anybody?
Yeah, obviously Curry in his day, Paddy was something else when he, in the early mid-80s, when he was running him down, you know, you couldn't live with him. But we had our fair share, so Michael was saying, I've got a story about him. You knew we had two daylight ones, or three, 93, 95 and 97. But you knew when it had set off from bus station somewhere like that, you were behind him. Because at every other style, you'd find an item of clothing.
yeah.
Even on the plough fields, in both runs, and you get to goal, and he'd have nothing on, it would be down to a t-shirt. And then along come Anne and Janice, they picked them all up and give them him back at the goal. So we were warm again.
Amazing.
Yeah.
So we'd lot of left these bits of clothing
Yeah,
marked.
you knew you were behind
So
him.
you knew where.
Just
yeah.
took-
Well, no, it was hot.
It
It got that hot, and
got that many layers
to
on.
keep warm.
Yeah. as he was
He
going,
always find the pulling one, so he kept himself warm.
Yeah, yeah. It just took him with style and say Janison and pick him up and give him back.
Give him that, amazing, amazing.
But there was one year, 95, it really got a bad flu. And it had gone down Sandy Brook, come back up to the top on Windmill Lane, and then gone again. And he'd set off with it.
It was
Virtually
steep,
where
man.
they'd been this on the Wednesday, back of Stubby's there, down there. And he'd actually run out of steam. But his mate had brought him this, we call it a real tree coat, red, thick Canadian, and there was no way he would let him at all. That never come off his back.
Really?
And he ground him to a standstill going up, he couldn't run anymore. So he shouted, right, nobody's having this one. So he ran it back down the hill and threw it in that ravine down there.
And that's where it was for ages.
And that's where we had great fun for an hour.
Then they ended up having to walk that out to that ravine because they just couldn't get it out.
Couldn't get it out, it was just that steep either side. Nobody could throw it out, but we had some really good fun down there.
That started down Seven Arch
Yeah.
and got run across Sandy Brook Road, up the other side, hid in a compost bin.
Amazing. The things people do though, won't it, to get balls?
No,
Yeah.
and a lot of us went to the goal because we were told it had gone over the top. We hadn't gone to goal,
No.
so we missed all that. A lot of us missed all that in
No
that
phone, you
ravine.
see, them days.
No communication
No,
devices, was
nothing.
there?
No. A couple of ladies stood on Windmill Lane sending all down us down, and we never got no reinforcements.
No.
Right.
I'm not telling you that.
Because our own man had sent us to goal.
Yeah.
So what would you guys say is the best condition to play Shrove Tide in? Sort of snowy weather, rainy weather or sunny weather?
Yeah,
Rain.
Rain
Why is
keeps
that?
the crowds away.
Right, okay.
It's not nice for anybody, but it just there's some to come to the turn up and then they go. So yeah, it's just swinging around.
We need plenty of rain, lads, going forward then, because the
think
crowds
we're gonna
this
get
year
that,
were
yeah.
just absolutely
Yeah.
phenomenal on the Tuesday, weren't
A
they?
lot of our lot, especially the hug lads, they were manual workers and we just thrived on the dirt, didn't bother us.
Right.
We were filthy, rip bits, barbed wire, thorns in our hands, blackthorn, the odd bite every now and again.
From the
Pardon?
players. Yeah. Not from the midges, from the players. So,
But
yeah, so take it can get, obviously people are not aware of Shrove Tide, not aware how fierce it can get, because it can get really fierce. So, you know, is it true that those tensions on the 2 days between the two sides really do subside when it's over?
oh yeah,
Yeah.
fine. Yeah, we all know each other really, don't we?
Yeah.
A bit of rib taking and whatnot.
Yeah.
But now,
Well, if there's an issue, you log it in your head and you remember next year.
yeah, if it's gone that
There's
far.
always another time.
There's always another time and another players, yeah?
No, by and large, everybody gets on great.
So you gold your balls, both of you, in the era of the game being annually filmed. How did that feel, having your sort of scores, your goals, whatever? I know yours wasn't technically filmed, Rob, because you took everybody by surprise, but
Yeah.
Mark's was. How does it feel, at least, that you got to be on these films that are now obviously, and it sounds awful, but classed as like antique pieces, for want of
Yeah.
better words?
Yeah.
So, you know, how do you feel that you made a mark with being on those films?
Yeah, I think
It's just something that you can look back on. You think you know it all, trying to remember it, but you don't. And then when you see a video, you recognise it, and it all
Yeah.
comes back to you.
Cool.
Especially you get older, you forget things. It's just, I don't know. I don't like this telephone thing.
Film it on phone, do you mean?
I like I know they're throwing it up, people want a picture, but this year on the Tuesday,
Was it see your phones?
it was just
Phones,
arms and phones.
all the time, yeah.
Weird,
Yeah.
weird. But it's
Well, when going back to that, I've said this to you, Archie. You're not old enough to remember this, but when we were younger, you had to wait for Mrs. Ithersay's annual video to come out, which was usually 2 or 3 weeks after Shrove Tide. We wouldn't have it out by now, and you could relive it back. And of course, people like Rob, when he was gold, went and did a commentary and put
That's
their
right,
points
yeah,
of view forward. But now you can go on social media, can't you? Watch the throw up seconds after it's happened on YouTube and things like that. And do you think it has a detrimental effect to what we're trying to do here?
I don't like it. That's it. Phones.
Just makes it very popular, doesn't it, for everybody?
Yeah.
I don't mean everybody here
like,
either.
you know, cars are one thing, but phones are different again. You know, and they've got these trackers on and location finders and it's times, into modern times, and that's it.
And those things, drones up in the air, scanning
Yeah.
where runners are.
But it's not stopping goals. If it was
No.
stopping goals, perhaps things
Would be
might have
different.
to, yeah, they might say, well, it's gone now, the game's gone, but we were three.
Yeah.
But Trove Tide is a game of its own. You can never ever say never
No.
in Trove Tide.
No.
Do you think
Anything can happen.
it's an individual game to a degree, or is it ultimately for you guys a team effort?
No, I think
Gone
it's
to
a team. It's a
teams
team.
now,
It's a team effort.
Yeah.
The push that the Downers had on the Tuesday down past towards the church and down there, it was unbelievable. When you're old, you stand back a lot more, and the sheer force of the numbers pushing down was unbelievable. The hug's massive now. You get caught in the hug now, and your ribs they're on you. You feel the ribs straight away.
But the thing is, you push on one corner, it spins,
Yeah.
and then it'll go one way for a minute, and then they'll all peel off and missed it, and you can't get back round to push again. So the other lads have driven it the other way, and it's gone back to exactly where it come from 2 minutes before.
It was a bit round
Because
and
it's
round in
that-
circles.
You don't know what you're pushing sometimes. Yeah.
Like I say, that ball on Wednesday to get away up the same alley they'd done the year before or whatever, in daylight, it was amazing. Absolutely amazing, them young runners. Unbelievable.
So can you both tell us what you had painted on your ball that you gold?
Well, my granddad had a milk lorry from Nestles and the churns on the back, so I had that on that side. My dad was a coalman, so I had that on that side. I Love My Cows, which is on the main sort of,
What breed of cow is that?
that's a Limousin.
Ramsey.
That's the Great Yorkshire Show. And then hunting scene on the front for Charles.
Lovely.
Couple of crowns, flag.
The flag and the usual bit
Yeah.
of laurel leaves. as you
Yeah,
mentioned
laurel
before.
leaves, yeah.
So Rob, what you got on yours?
Well, so mine was just had a coat of emulsion when I got there, so just a few flecks missing on it, so I virtually could pick anything I wanted. We've got a nice view of St John Street looking usually the other way. It's usually the church that people have on it, but I thought, well, I didn't walk in that way, I'm this way. So
Yeah.
put that on, just my name, and on this side, the chap that turned it up obviously was caretaker here, and hence the cues and the dominoes and everything else. And just the crown on this side.
The flag on
Being a
it.
bit of a Derby fan, yeah. Thurston Mill, 28th of the 2nd, 90. Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
And that was a boat. That was made by Arthur Chadwick.
Yeah.
And that one was made by John Harrison.
I don't know whether Terry Patless or not, I don't know.
He may well have done. He was his
He
assistant.
was with him, weren't
Yeah,
he?
he was.
Yeah.
So it was all like a really upward manufacturers, because Arthur was an upward as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah.
So,
Was he?
oh,
Yeah,
absolutely,
yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
he was. We used to spend many hours going and watching Arthur stitch Trove titles in his little shop down there. You know, did you ever? So did you ever, when you were kids, save all the newspapers and
Still got it,
photographs?
still
Have you still
got
got them, Rob? That's so like. They get a bit tatty though, don't they? As you get older.
There's some funny colours.
Yeah, a bit brittle. Did you do that, Mark? Did you
I've got a
save?
suitcase with them in the loft. We are in the loft now, but
Yeah.
It's amazing when you say to, I don't want to use the word older, but players of a certain maturity. Did you
can't
save,
throw
did you
anything
save
away.
the newspapers? I've got loads of them. I have, haven't I?
we can't
Piles
throw
of
it.
them. You've got piles of them, Archie, as well, what people have given you.
I've got loads.
You see, like we had a good education with Pluck and Botty as well, didn't we?
Yeah.
They just always push you in the right direction to do things, and encouragement.
Yes.
You know, you're walking down the lane after somebody else has scored it, and there's, you know, keep going, you'll get there. You know, it spurs you on.
It fuels a fire, doesn't it? Within you? Yeah.
You know, you pass the ball to people to get it out of the hug, and you're trusting them to get it in the right place. And if it does, you knew really, if they did get stopped, they won't get let go of it, and we'd be back on it if it didn't go far.
That's right.
And they encourage you to do that.
And to keep going.
We had, to be honest, we had a lot of runners, good 150, 200 yard sprinters, and they got it away, didn't they? Rod Stonkinson,
Roger,
you know, Dunk Collins, there were quite a few, weren't there? That just do a little sprint, they break.
Yeah, broke it up and got it.
Got it going so it could go
Get
on.
half a break and get away.
Yeah.
So to sort of kind of finish off then, so we asked this everybody, so for both of you, who is a player for an upward that you know you enjoy playing with and a downward that you enjoy playing against?
Obviously upwards,
This is tough.
Michael Wright for me.
Yeah.
Downwards, Jeff and Paddy. We had to go.
Upwards, Mick and Botty. Have to have two because I'm all playing.
Yeah.
Almost respect for Mick. Downwards, Jeff. I'm afraid.
Jeff Harrison. Wonderful.
Strong lad, Jeff.
Yeah, he
Still
was.
plays now.
Yeah, he
still
does.
comes.
Yeah. You know, if you was away and it broke away, we always got told to follow the ball. And you know, if there was 50 of you, Jeff would be there. Always, wherever, Jeff would be there. He'd read the game. He'd be there.
This was the first ball I ever saw scored at Clifton. Formidable player. So, the Shrove Tiders who watch this podcast are out there, fellas. The legends are Robert Godfrey and Mark Allen. What do you want to say to the Shrove Tiders out there?
Just keep the game going, lads, same as everybody else has said on it. You know, we've had a great 40 years playing this game. Me and Mark really enjoyed it. And if you want to keep it playing, listen to everybody that says anything to you and take it all in and enjoy it.
Mark?
It's our game. It's the town's game. Look after it. If we don't look after it, better well happen. We can't lose it. And that's it, really, isn't it?
In 1988, he has a song as true today as it is. As it was then.
What's that song called, Rob?
The Only Way Is Up. And Michael Wright, you'll never get one.
Mark?
Onwards and upwards.
There's a town still plays this glorious game, though 'tis but a little spot, and year by year the contest fought from the field that's called Shawcroft. Then friend meets friend in friendly strife, the leather fort again, and they play the game right manfully in snow, sunshine,